Dear students, welcome back to Digital Electronics and Logic Design, a video lecture series. In this class, I am going to discuss a very important topic, that is gate minimization using the K-map method. What is the need of minimization of any Boolean function? I am going to explain. After that, how we can minimize that Boolean function by making use of K-map method, I will explain. For example, I am having a digital system. Assume that I am having the digital system. So this is a digital system. Assume that it is a digital system whose output is F. I can call it is having the output. Inputs are some A, B, C. I am giving the inputs are A, B, C. Due to these three inputs, it is delivered some particular output, that may be sum of product or product of sum. In the previous class, I have explained any digital system can able to provide one of the possible outputs, such as sum of product and as well as a product of sum. So due to these three inputs to the digital system, this is a digital system, I got the output is F. If I directly implement this Boolean function or the Boolean expression by making use of the logic gates, if I directly realize this Boolean expression by making use of the logic gates, assume that I require around the 10 logic gates. Let's assume 10 logic gates. If I directly go for the realization of this Boolean function by making use of the logic gates, we know the three types of logic gates: basic logic gates, universal logic gates, and the exclusive logic gates. So if I realize this Boolean expression by making use of these logic gates, I require the 10 logic gates. So to reduce this 10 number of logic gates, what I am doing, I am simplifying this Boolean expression. So that if I simplify this Boolean expression, and I am not going to change the output, that one. Simply I am simplifying the Boolean expression, but I am not changing the output. Simply output is getting simplified, output expression is getting simplified, but the output is not going to be changed. Output is not going to be changed, but we are simply simplifying the output expression. After simplifying this output expression, I don't require these 10 number of logic gates. I require, for example, only 5 logic gates, because we have simplified the Boolean expression, and due to that simplification, I require only 5 logic gates to realize that Boolean expression. So that what? Without simplification, I require the 10 logic gates. After simplification, I can need only 5 logic gates. That means what? The simplification is making the simplification is allowing us to make use the less number of hardware, less number of logic gates. That means if you are using the less number of logic gates to realize one particular Boolean function, that means indirectly we are reducing the hardware of the digital system. That means what? By simplifying the Boolean expression, we are indirectly reducing the hardware of a digital system. Hardware is nothing but number of logic gates. Hardware of a digital system we have been reducing. So once if the hardware of a digital system is reduced, obviously we can get the other advantages, like speed of the device is going to increases, and the cost of the device is going to reduces. Then the size of the device is also going to reduces. Likewise, if you go for the minimization of the Boolean expression, you are going to reduce the hardware requirement of the digital system, and in parallel to the hardware of the digital system, it is going to reduce the hardware of digital system. In parallel to the reducing the hardware of the digital system, we can have the some other advantages by having the minimization of the Boolean function or the Boolean expression. So that what is the need of the simplification? By making use of the simplification, we can reduce the Boolean expression into the minimum terms, and such that we can make use the least number of logic gates, and so that hardware of the digital system is going to be reduces. By reducing the hardware of the digital system, we can have the other advantages from the digital system. So that simplification of the Boolean function can be done making use of in two ways. First one, by making use of the Boolean algebra, we can simplify. By making use of the Boolean algebra, we can simplify the Boolean expressions or the Boolean functions, and by making use of the another method, that is by making use of the K-map method, again we can simplify the Boolean expression or the Boolean function. By simplifying the Boolean expression or the Boolean function, we are going to reduce the hardware requirement of that particular digital system. By reducing the hardware requirement, we can speed up the digital system, and we can reduce the power consumption, we can reduce the size of that particular digital system. So that there are two ways to simplify any Boolean function. That are, first one is a Boolean algebra, second one is a K-map method. Anyway, we have studied the Boolean algebra in the first unit itself only. Now we have to focus on the another method, that is K-map method. K-map is nothing but it is a Karnaugh-map method which is used to simplify the Boolean expressions. Then I am going to explain this K-map method step by step, and if you are good at all these steps, then that simplification is very, very simple. Step 1, we are going with the step 1. In step 1, what we have to do? In step 1, we should see that whatever the Boolean function is there, that must be in a standard form. Boolean function must be in a standard form. Boolean function must be in standard form. What is the standard form? We have explained in the last class. We have studied in the last class. That is, there are two forms of the Boolean functions are there. One is sum of product, another one is product of sum. In the sum of product, each minterm is having all the literals, whether that may be in complemented or original form, then that is called as standard SOP or standard sum of product, or we can call as canonical form also. In case of product of sum also, each max term, if each max term is having all the literals in maybe the complemented or original form, then that is called as standard product of sum. So first step, whatever we have the Boolean function, that must be in a standard form. If it is not in the standard form, we have to convert that is into the standard form. How to convert the normal SOP into standard form, we have discussed in the previous class. Second step, we need to identify the number of inputs. Step 2, we need to identify the number of inputs we have to identify. By knowing the number of inputs, we have to draw the boxes or cells based on the number of inputs. For example, number of inputs are n, so that we have to draw the 2 power n adjacent number of boxes. 2 power of n adjacent number of boxes. For example, we are having only two inputs. So that 2 power of 2 means 4 adjacent cells we have to draw. 4 adjacent boxes or cells we have to draw. Then if n is equals to 3, then we have to draw the 2 power of 3 means 8. 8 adjacent cells or 8 adjacent boxes we need to draw. The next one is about if you are having n is equals to 4. N is nothing but number of inputs. If number of inputs are 4, we have to draw the 2 power of 4 cells. 2 power of 4 cells is nothing but it is 16 number of cells we have to draw. 16 number of cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, so that we can have the 16 cells. So if it is having the 5 number of inputs, so that we have to draw the 32 adjacent cells or boxes, and this is the step 2. Step 3 is nothing but in step 3 we have to give the notations for the each cell now. Step 3. That means what? We have to give the address for the each and every cell by giving some particular notations, and we have to go for the address for each cell now. For example, I am going with the number of inputs are 4. For example, I am going with the number of inputs are 4, so that n is equals to 4 means how many cells or boxes I can have? 2 power of 4 means 16 boxes I can have. So that how many inputs we have? 4 inputs. So that the row wise I can take the 2 inputs. For example, A, B, C, D are the input. Row wise I can take the A, B, and the column wise I can say C, D. Total 4 inputs are there, so that we have the 16 boxes, and A, B and C, D are the 4 inputs. So that we need to give the notation for each and every row and column. These how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. That row is representing 0, 0, so representing A, B, so that I can write this is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. This code is called as gray code. And coming to the column wise also, how many columns we have? The 4 columns we have. This is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1 and this is 1, 0. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 0. So here 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 0 is nothing but gray code. And if you take any 2 consecutive cells that are differ with only 1 bit position, 0, 0, 0, 1, it differs in only 1, 1, 1, 0, it differs in 1 bit position. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, this is 0, 0, 0, 1, it differs in 1 bit position. 0, 1, 1, 1, it differs in 1 bit position. 1, 1, 1, 0, it differs with the 1 bit position only. This is about what? It is the third step. In the third step, again we have to go with the one more point. Now each row is identified with the number and each column is also identified with a number, so that we can have the each cell is also identified with a number. This, if you go with this cell, this is 0, 0, 0, 0, 4 zeros are there. And if you go with this cell, this is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And this cell is there with this row and this column, so that 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. The next one is what? 0, 0, 1, 0. Next one is what? 0, 1, 0, 0. Next one 0, 1, 0, 1. Next one is what? 0, 1, 1, 1. Next one 0, 1 and 1, 0. Likewise we can finish off. And 0, 0, 0. All zeros means what? All zeros means it is 0 only. 0, 0, 1 means it is 1. And 0, 0, 1 means it is 3. And 0, 0, 1, 0 means it is 2. And now it is 4. It is 5, 7 and 6. Then this is 8, 9, 11, 10, 12, 13, 15 and 14. Total how many cells are there? Total 16 cells are there, so that we have given the names for those cells are 0 to 15. We have given the cell names. 0 to 15 we have given the cell names. 0 to 15. Total how many? Total 16 cells are there for the 4 inputs. What are the 4 inputs? A, B, C, D. And A, B is given to assign to the row and C, D is assigned to the column there. Then this is step 3. Then coming to the step 4, whatever we have the standard function, that is a question, we have to depute that, we have to assign that question into this particular K-map, and we have to depute all the whatever the question is there, that is into the cells. Now I am going with the cells. For example, this is a like this. If it is SOP, we have to represent with the 1. If it is POS, we have to represent with the zeros. Whatever we have to represent. This is step 4. And step 5 is nothing but we have to form the groups with the adjacent cells. We have to form the group with the adjacent cells. And in step 6, by identifying the common terms, we have to simplify that K-map such that we will get the simplified Boolean expression without using the Boolean algebra. So the main advantage of the K-map is that without making use of the Boolean algebra, we can easily simplify the Boolean expression into its minimized form, and by minimizing the Boolean expression into its simplified form, we can reduce the hardware required for that Boolean function, and by reducing the hardware of the digital system, we can have the other advantages like speed of the digital system will be increases, and the size of the digital system is going to reduces, and the power consumption of the digital system is also going to reduces. That means what? By simplifying the Boolean expression into the K-map, indirectly we are reducing the hardware requirement of that particular digital system by reducing the number of logic gates. Thank you, students. In tomorrow's class, I am going to explain the one particular example, and by making use of that example, I am going to explain each and every step, whatever we have studied, the 6 steps. Step 1 is what? Boolean function must be in standard form. Step 2 is what? We need to identify the number of inputs. Based on the number of inputs, we have to draw the and 2 power of n number of adjacent cells. And in step 3, we need to give the address for each and every cell, and column wise and the row wise we have to give the address for each and every cell. And in step 4, whatever the question we have to depute into that particular cells. In step 5, and we have to form the grouping with the adjacent cells. In step 6, by identifying the common terms, we have to simplify that Boolean expression by making use of the K-map. Thank you, students.